The government, I feel, wants us sick so that we are more reliant on the pharmaceutical companies.
You can't decide, is it evil or incompetence? To decree, that's literally what fiat means, is to decree.
These men in lab coats that wanted women to feel vulnerable and like they had no control over their bodies and they didn't know what they were talking about, and to really just make a business out of this.
Something I tell myself every day when I don't feel like training: be hard to kill.
Say Bitcoin is scarce, it's the scarcest asset, but like time is really your scarcest asset.
Losing your life savings is a catastrophe, and it's terrible, and I feel so sorry for everybody who went through that. But if you still have your life and you still have your family, like, you can rebuild yourself. A lot of people, even like all these brands, they'll claim that it's healthy, but then you see it has brown sugar, which is just processed sugar. It's not really good. That's just an example. Or, vegetable oil, because it has vegetable in it. That's not good either. That's just a seed oil. So people always think like we starve ourselves or punish ourselves for eating healthy, but we eat whatever we want. I have ice cream that I made in the freezer last week. It's all about the inputs, and that's with anything in life. So you could eat whatever you want. It's just about the inputs. Replace sugar with maple syrup or honey. Replace glyphosate flour that you would get in America for like an einkorn flour, an ancient grain that doesn't have a lot of glyphosate in it. Or replace seed oils with beef tallow or ghee or butter, extra virgin olive oil. So they were the chef was awesome and willing to hear us out. We got on calls leading up to the event.
Oh, sweet.
And
we even did a workshop. We did a cookie making workshop.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of fun.
At camp, was wild.
It was a good time.
Yeah, the cool. Kids, handling that many kids, man. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it, man.
I think the adults were more difficult to manage than the kids in that workshop. It started with a whole bunch of adults, and I'm like, I thought this was going to be a big hit with the kids. And I guess all of a sudden, like, they swarmed in the kids later on at the end. So then they, got involved. But yeah, no, it was great. We did a good job. We managed it pretty well. But yeah, the point was just like, you could have something really delicious. You could have dessert, but it's about the inputs, so like, what kind of flour are you using? So we used einkorn flour because, like John said, it's an ancient grain, no glyphosate, it's like untouched. We used raw butter, pasture raised eggs. We just had maple syrup for a sweetener instead of sugar, dates, dark chocolate chips. I think that's everything.
And that's the cookie. You put it all together.
Yeah, very, very simple. Some good sea salt Maldons we use. So yeah, it was just kind of showing that.
Dates are like a secret. Christina's been doing. She opens a date. She puts in grass-fed butter and like a dark chocolate chip. It tastes like a chocolate chip cookie. Like it tastes
like raw cookie dough.
So good.
You want to hear another one that we discovered yesterday? You get a date. You cut it open, same way, and you get a really good peanut butter, almond butter, or cashew butter, and then a really good jelly, and it's like an amazing peanut butter and jelly. It's so good.
You can freeze those and have those be little cold snacks.
That's a good idea
too. Put them in dark chocolate and put them in the freezer.
There's so many things you could do. You just need to get creative and have the patience.
And that's just it. It's a mindset. Hey, we stopped buying processed food. Not all processed food. Sometimes we still have some processed food. But for the most part, we're buying whole foods. And Christina's making our bread, and she's just super. She's insane.
Love that.
But it's she's like, I'm making bread. You need flour, eggs, water. That's pretty much it. There's yeast. Maybe there's I don't know. There's probably other stuff, but that's for the most part it. Mm-hmm. You go to the store to buy bread. It's 20 ingredients. It's what could possibly be going in here that is so important when you need 4 at home? And it just goes to show. And everything's like that, right? The same thing. I went to buy. It's maybe TMI, but I came back from Costa Rica a little while ago, and I was all bunged up. So I went to the store, bought apples and I think probably dates. And I pick up the organic dates pack, look at the back. There's 2 ingredients: dates, canola oil. I was like, what?
Why?
How is this?
Why?
What is wrong here? Why can't we just have dates?
It's a great question.
Yeah,
it really
it's crazy. So when did you guys are kind of, you guys are like the best looking couple in Bitcoin. Like you guys,
thank you.
John's like 2% body fat there. Nadja is so beautiful. Like what?
Thank you.
How have you guys kind of? Have you always been this way? Did you guys grow up like managing your diets and stuff, or when did this kind of start? When did you guys fall down this rabbit hole?
Well, so for me, I was always like athletic, played sports. My mom is a personal trainer, so I just kind of like grew up in that sort of household and eating healthy, I mean, what we considered healthy then, we don't really consider healthy now. And what I mean by that is like, okay, a full protein diet, not full protein, but like, fruits and vegetables and stuff, but shopping in like a grocery store. Like now it's just, we've taken it to the next level where we used to meal prep then too and exercise, but now we're like meal prepping or cooking our meals fresh, but our food, it's where our food's coming from. So we've gotten really big on the sourcing. And, just like shopping local and ask questions, that's what we do as Bitcoiners, ask questions, right? You don't trust, verify. So we'll like go to the farmer's market and I'll ask like
questions. Yeah. What kind of questions are you asking?
Yeah. Well, like I want to know if I'm getting beef, right? I mean, we found a great ranch in Jersey, which we just have our meat shipped to us now. But like, let's say we're a little behind. We don't have anything in the freezer. We'll go to the farmer's market and we'll ask questions like, is your beef regeneratively raised? And, then I'll ask more specific questions because what that means is there's no steroids. I want to know that there's no antibiotics that are given to the vaccines or anything given to the cow. I want to know what the land is like that they're grazing, and are they grazing the land?
Are they born on that land, or are they, after the calf is raised a little bit, are they having the calf shipped over?
Yeah,
and then finishing them there?
Right.
Wow.
Really, essentially, you want the cow to be born and raised on that same land. Like our rancher has birth certificates for these cows, so it's like literally, like it's so cool.
Because the cow in transit, the cow gets stressed out, which then affects the meat, the fat. Their cortisol spikes.
They could get sick. Then they need vaccines.
Right.
Wow.
So this
you want to avoid these things.
Yeah, and this all translate. I would say more important than being like carnivore, keto, or name like whatever diet there is. I believe the most important thing is where you're sourcing your food from.
Yes.
So you can have bread, you can have meat, you can have vegetables, fruit, whatever, but you need to make sure that the source is clean, because ultimately you're consuming that. And if it's sprayed with pesticides and whatnot, does it matter if you're having a banana or an apple and it was sprayed with pesticides? Like, yeah, that's something you think is healthy, but it's not healthy because you're just introducing this chemical into your body and sending your body through a whirlwind. So sourcing is super important. And that's why we say we used to be healthy, but we would shop at the grocery store and you're not really knowing where the food's coming from. We're meal prepping and putting hot food in plastic containers and then putting that plastic container in the microwave. And yeah,
we use our microwave for storage now. Like we don't use it.
So
we just use it for extra space.
Exactly. So there's layers to this, and that all coincided with Bitcoin, because Bitcoin kind of taught us to like stop just trusting on the surface and like really digging deep and asking questions. And they're not complicated questions, they make sense. Like, as I think it's like the schooling system too, like you just learn to listen and nod and
not how to think.
Yeah, not how to think. You forget to ask questions. Like, I mean, Nadja has a little brother and sister. My brother and sister-in-law, like, they're 14
it's
now.
It's so funny hearing him say my brother and sister-in-law.
It's weird, but they've always asked, like, I've been around them since they were super young, like 6 or 7, and they just always ask great questions. And it's like, man, we don't ask questions anymore. We just kind of just accept what is told to us, and that's it. So we just kind of went back to the basics.
Yeah.
Dude, that's so true. And I feel like it's funny you say that. I didn't realize that it was Bitcoin that made you guys so like, into the other side of health, I guess. There's financial health, but then there's like, and then there's like, you're right, eating an apple banana, but then there's like eating an apple banana that hasn't been sprayed and that's not going to be GMO'd and all this craziness. But what do you think it is about the world, like, school system? Like, I guess where I'm going with this is it planned? Like, do you think all of this, the fact that I can't buy organic dates without canola oil on them or sunflower or whatever it was, like, is that an evil force that is projecting bad things into the food, or is this just downstream effect of fiat and it's kind of like it's out of hand and we don't really know? There's no one to blame, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
we wrestle. I think it's a little bit of both.
Yeah, we wrestle back with this all the time. Like, there's no doubt that seed oils are subsidized by the government, so they're most certainly cheaper than butter, ghee, or tallow.
Yeah, but why would the government, like, there's enough. First of all, I can't believe the amount of people that just accept or that just discount that seed oils are unhealthy. Like, it's actually diesel fuel, and I have friends tell me like, oh, it's healthy, it's this, and I'm like, based on what metric? Like, there seems to be no science supporting that, and there's enough propaganda going on to do that. But then why are the governments subsidizing seed oils, for example?
Yeah,
control over your health. I think I feel like I know this because you see it every day. I think they want us sick. They want to, the government, I feel, wants us sick so that we are more reliant on the pharmaceutical companies.
Yeah, it's a top-down thing, though, because it's like, I don't believe these doctors are inherently evil. They take one day in their entire education experience and it's nutrition, right? They just are taught to prescribe and treat certain illnesses with drugs. So, it's a top-down thing, and I do believe there's some.
Oh no.
We're pissing somebody off, Adam. Yeah. We just dropped out again. You there?
They're not happy with us.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. I think we're good. But yeah, something is not going into the airwaves. I can hear you guys now. Yeah, I think we're better. But yeah, I totally agree. Like, top down, it feels like this cluster of negative incentives that keeps on getting driven through our ecosystem. And I, like you, I can't decide, is it evil or incompetence? And I kind of go back and forth in my head on which one it is. Because you're right. I don't think the doctors are inherently evil. The ones prescribing the drugs, like, but at the same time, I don't know how you make this many wrong decisions to end up with a society that just feels so backwards and crooked.
Mm-hmm. I think it's the people behind the scenes, these like higher ups or whatever, that are actually running everything. And then it kind of just trickles down, and you have the workforce people, right? Like the doctors and the people that are actually in these positions that are, kind of, I guess, like, what am I trying to say?
Just passing along the information that they're given.
It's wrong information.
But it's also, I would equate it to like the frog boiling in water. You're not going to just throw it in right off the jump. It's going to slowly boil until they don't even realize what's happening. I feel like that's what's happened here. I mean, I feel like we're in America, and this country has been co-opted since, as a Bitcoiner, I'm inclined to say, like, since the early 1900s, when the Federal Reserve Act was passed and the central bank and things like that. And you could just see so many metrics of just the downward spiral that we've been going through, from health to debt to violence and drug abuse and things like that. So it's just like, I feel like they're playing the long game. And by they, who are we talking? The Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, like, you could throw out all these names. I like how Simon Dixon puts it: the financial industrial complex, the technological industrial complex, and the military industrial complex, because it is a global cabal, and they each have different interests, but there must be some type of coordination, because, like you said, they can't all be that negligent and incompetent when you see all the pure facts. Like, it's obvious that red meat and saturated fat is good for you, and seed oils and corn syrup and all these processed foods are bad, and the food dye and stuff like that. Yet look where we're at as a society.
Yeah. So which one do you think is governing the food? Is it the Mick, the Fick, or the Tick? Because food is such a weird one. It doesn't really feel like it falls into any of those. Or is it all of them? Is that the roots? Like, are we actually talking about the root cause here?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you follow the money. I feel like it's all, and it could just be the lens in which I view the world. As a Bitcoiner, I just feel like it all goes back to fiat. Like, these are cheaper alternatives. So if you're going to print money and debase our purchasing power, what can you do to make sure you get away with that as long as possible? And you're just going to replace the inputs with the cheaper inputs, so we don't realize that food is getting more expensive. You're going to replace the labor, the blue collar workers here in America, you're going to ship it over to China. That way our goods are still somewhat, inexpensive, not really keeping up with the beachfront or the waterfront property, if you will. Like, there's nothing you can do about that. That's just going to skyrocket regardless because it's scarce. So I feel like, and I'm definitely biased as a Bitcoiner, but it could be the monetary, the financial industrial complex, because they just want to get away with printing as long as possible. And how can they do that? Well, you just have to make the inputs cheaper so people don't catch on.
Yeah, I like that. That makes a lot of sense to me. And then how do you guys, and then so obviously, you guys having now dedicated large parts of your careers so far into like skincare, going from food. So walk me through this journey that you guys are on. So Naj, you kind of grow up like, into fitness and into health, but not really into health. You fall down this rabbit hole. How does that transition happen into, I bet my skincare sucks too?
Yeah, it kind of all happened at the same time, and it's like it was overwhelming for sure, but it was
How
like,
old were you?
This would have been 2020. COVID actually.
Yeah, it all happened during COVID.
Yeah.
COVID woke us up to like everything.
Yeah, COVID.
Before COVID, are you guys like, you're eating whatever grocery store, you're putting on a Vino cream, Vaseline, like whatever?
Yeah, pretty much.
Dove body wash.
I didn't feel great though. So like anecdotally, I could say that seed oils didn't make me feel good. Eating out didn't make me feel good. I didn't know why, but I was doing it often and I just felt, the brain fog, the sluggishness. I had a lot of issues with my stomach.
Can I just also say, at that point in time, we didn't know. We thought we were at the optimal, point that we can be at in terms of health, human health, but we didn't know where we could get to until we started worrying about the source and all these other health things, grounding, sunlight, like a million other things. Like, wow. And that kind of became like a drug, so to speak, like a high, like, wow, I've been chasing this. Mm-hmm. I didn't even know this existed. How do I keep this going? So
yeah. So with he kind of went down the financial rabbit hole. He like sort of took initiative on that. I kind of went down the food rabbit hole, and it was like, oh my God, all the food sucks, right? And then we sort of like collaborated and like spoke about the things we were learning. And then it was like, I read a book called Dirty Girl, and it was like, I mean, everything in this book, they're like, the air is terrible that you're breathing in. And, look at the ingredients in your products, the water, the tap water. So it was like all these things, detergent, cleaning agents. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, we got to get rid of everything. So then I'm throwing, we had a Costco closet because, is Costco a thing in Canada?
Oh yeah. We love Costco.
Yeah. So we love Costco too for certain things. But like, we were like, buying bulk and like skin products and I don't know, Dove soap and lotion, cocoa butter lotion or whatever. And so I just started throwing everything away. And he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, this all gotta go. Like, he's this like, is hey, terrible. This is still
costing us money here. Like, what's going on?
I'm like, do you want a family one day? Because this isn't how we're gonna get a family. Like, this is destroying our hormones. It's terrible. Yeah, no, it was like crazy. And the detergent, I'm like, okay, how can I make my own detergent? So I pretty much just started doing research and was like, I can make this stuff on my own. Like, what did they do 100 years ago before all of these like chemical inputs were put into all these products? And so that's what I just started doing. I started like researching, like, what is the best ingredient for, okay, we needed soap, we needed body lotion, we needed face moisturizer, lip balm, stuff like that. What is the best ingredient for this that's the most compatible with our skin? And, I found tallow. That's when I started going down that sort of rabbit hole and decided that was the best ingredient for the base of our products. And it was really just for us. I mean, we just made it for us because I was like playing around like a little chemist or whatever. And, just mixed like all these like good oils together, all these nourishing essential oils instead of using any kind of fragrance because that's also really bad.
She was having a lot of fun with it too, like learning something and then taking what you learned and putting it into action.
It was like a hobby kind of.
Yeah. It was pretty quick feedback loop too. Like you can make a soap. I don't know how long it takes to be ready. Like, is it less than a day that it takes for the soap to be ready?
Soap is one of those products that takes a little longer. It's usually like 4 to 6 weeks because it needs to fully cure. But
Okay.
yeah, everything else is like that day. So, I
Yeah.
mean, that happened pretty quick. And, you know, when you're making these things, like you're not making a small amount. So I made them in like bigger batches, I guess, where it was like too much for us. So that's when we started I'm like, I want everybody to be healthy. Like they got to all try this, our family and friends. So we started sharing it with everybody and they loved it too. And, you know, they were listening to us. We were, you know, we came on a little strong, but they were sort of listening to
Like
us.
every good Bitcoiner does. It's like,
yeah,
I found the new rabbit hole. Let me
Bitcoin.
change everything. You like walk into their house, start throwing out all their laundry stuff.
Yeah, people would hide stuff in the refrigerator, like, hey, can I get a water? Yeah, I'll get it. You know, don't open up the fridge, John. I got it.
Yeah, be at our friends' houses, like, you know,
it's an
cooking
excitement
and
though.
stuff, and they're like hiding their like seasonings and whatever ingredients they have, and I'm just like, we started bringing our own stuff, and then that's how we sort of turned everybody else on.
I talk about you guys all the time at camp. You guys had the little bag of salt. I love that.
Yeah, we take our salt with us. Totally. Yeah.
Salt comes everywhere.
We have some not what we like to call non-negotiables. And like these are things that we will not cheat on at all. And then there's other things where we're like, okay, it'll make us anti-fragile. It's all right if we consume this, but like, you know, the iodized bleach salt is one of those non-negotiables. It's also easy to just take the salt with you. Tap water. Yeah,
so
tap waters are non-negotiable.
How do you like discern your non-negotiable? Is it a mixture of convenience and severity, or like how are you guys going through that?
So like for instance, you know, if you go out to eat, which we rarely do, well, like seed oils are non-negotiable, tap waters are non-negotiable. So you could order
bottled water,
Pellegrino, Saratoga.
I'm
whatever.
Allergic to seed oils.
We're allergic to seed oils. Yeah. So if you use that A word, they take it very seriously. Nice. If we're going to like a wedding or something where it's not that easy and you don't trust them because everything's made in bulk, we'll just eat before the wedding. Like I'll cook us dinner and then we'll go to the wedding. And you know, we're not really big drinkers. So instead of drinking, I'll give the bartender like a tip and say, listen, I need bottled water for us, please. We're not taking advantage of the open bar. Yeah, and that's usually how we get by like those certain events. If
anything looks good, like we're like, you know, because you don't know what to expect at a wedding. So it could go either way. So if something does look good, but we're like satisfied because we ate, maybe we'll pick on certain things like shrimp cocktail or something that we know is clean and you can't really mess up, you know? But yeah, seed oils, processed sugar is another one.
Yeah, never have sugar.
I'd say it's like a pretty good balance between severity and convenience. Like we try to make it convenient. Like, you know, we're like, okay, we can just, it takes time. It takes time and planning and patience. But once you get a routine, it's like, okay, I got this. Like if we're going somewhere, we just, you know, we make our reverse osmosis water and we put in this big canister and we take this big jug with us everywhere we go. So it's like, you know, it doesn't have to be complicated. You just have to plan.
Yeah. That's such a, I've had this, so we've been going through, Christina and I, this season of like simplicity. You know, we've been selling lots of our stuff. We've removed the kids from lots of their like hockey and dance and like these really time consuming. And what I find is I've got more mental energy to contribute to, like you said, like, you know, it's like life is inconvenient, right? Living is inconvenient. And we're living in a society that tries to sell us convenience with this high time preference, you know, at the expense of our future health or our future money or our future family or whatever it may be. And I just feel like as I got off this hamster wheel, I was able to now put more effort into having an inconvenient life. You know, like it's not convenient for Christina to make bread every day, but now it's just part of her routine. And like, you know, I think she's up there making bread right now. Like I'm smelling bread this morning and it's like, she's like 6 days postpartum and like, you know,
super mama.
Yeah. Super mama.
That one.
And it's like, I don't know. It's this idea. I love this sentiment of like picking your hard. Have you guys familiar with this? It's
totally.
Like being fat is hard and also dieting is hard. It's like, which one would you rather be? Like, do you want a hard life and be overweight, or do you want a hard life and to be healthy and fit and active and healthy and like
feel good? Yeah.
Feel good. Yeah. Like it's like you said, Naj, like, you know, you're having stomach problems. You're you know, you're not feeling good. You're eating out all the time. And it's like, oh man, I feel like garbage. I'm ordering salad at the restaurant. It's like, oh, hey, that salad dressing is just diesel fuel and sugar. Like, what, you know, sure, you're having some spinach and strawberries, but like it's literally coated in toxics. And but we don't realize this stuff. It's yeah, I don't know. So then what are you guys into now? Like, you know, money, food, skincare. Is there another one? Like, is there more to this kind of rabbit hole?
There is, yes. We've been I would say I've been down this rabbit hole for about 2-3 years now, but the birthing rabbit hole.
Okay.
So free birth, kind of birthing outside the system, that
What's called
sort of
a
thing.
wild pregnancy.
Wild pregnancy would be like not, going for appointments and getting an ultrasound and having all these like invasive procedures done. And I just feel that, for me, at least for me, I feel like if you get pregnant, it's a blessing. And there's a reason why God gave you the ability to be pregnant with that baby, that there's really nothing else I need to do or know about the baby, because it wouldn't change my mind, and I wouldn't make any, I wouldn't do anything different. But trust in God that, there's a reason why this baby needs to be here, and they're going to just come out the way that they're going to come out. So that's sort of like my thought on the wild pregnancy thing. And then just trusting your body too, because I think we're, as a society, with all these interventions and all these, things that feel, they're so unnatural. We've become so disconnected from our instincts, our natural instincts. So I think that's really important too. And I've been kind of like more into the like cycle tracking and that sort of thing over the past few years. I kind of was caught up in the pharmaceutical industry as well, with like birth control pills and stuff like that. So when we got married, I was like, I know this isn't good. So that was another rabbit hole, the birth control pill. It was just awful, in my opinion. Really terrible what it does to your body. So
I watched this this, I don't know, little short documentary thing on that whole pharmaceutical and the birth control thing, and it's like it's like, at 16 they put these girls on birth control and they capture them until they're 26, 27. Then they get married and they want to have kids and they can't. So then they get them onto
IVF,
fertility, drugs.
Yep.
When they're 27 to when they're 35, or however long that's going to be. And then after that, they need, their hormones are like, they've been on hormone enhancers or whatever for 2 decades.
Yeah.
And then there's this, and so what they've done is they've created a customer for like a 4-decade, at Bitcoin, we talk about like, the average, like what is a customer value to us? And you can spend as much as you earn from that customer. On average, if Bitcoin Well earns $80, over the life cycle of a customer, then it's like, if you spend $50 acquiring that customer, then you're in the money. So you're in good shape. And it's like the pharmaceutical industry has created an environment where they can get a customer for 4 decades and leech tens of thousands of dollars out of these people. And it's just, I don't know, it blew my mind thinking about it in that way. And we're so lucky. Like Christina, when we met, she was so, we were both 18 when we met. And so she hadn't been on these drugs for too long. And again, for no reason other than sheer luck, we were just like, hey, this is dumb. We should stop this, like this birth control. But again, not like, I wasn't at that point this like natural psychopath that I am today. I was just like I just didn't feel right, I suppose. And so it's mind blowing. And we've had 5 kids now, and every one is getting more and more natural. Christina still is like a little nervous about like the wild pregnancy is sweet. I'm super. It's like, go find a river and let's get after it. Right?
Dude, animals aren't going to the OGBYN or whatever you call it, going for checkups and getting sonograms. They just pop it out with no intervention.
We're literally meant to do these things. Like this is our
purpose
on Earth. Yeah, for thousands of years. And I mean, that industry, it's a business. I don't know if you've ever seen the documentary, but The Business of Giving Birth. That actually they talk about the birth control pill in the same way that you just mentioned. Okay. So I wonder, but they talk about how like obstetrics came into play and how it was really just like these men in lab coats that wanted women to feel vulnerable and like they had no control over their bodies and they didn't know what they were talking about, and to really just make a business out of this so that women would become reliable on them. And they legit like started an entire business. Now it's crazy when people hear you're like, you're even thinking about having like a free birth or not a home birth.
A
let
physiological
alone
birth,
but we
yeah.
would say like, yeah, natural physiological birth where there's no intervention, because then we can even argue that midwives aren't midwives anymore. It's not what it used to be. Like midwives used to be for the woman and didn't have a license, and now they're like tied to the system. So you're kind of inviting the system into your home.
That government paper, that license adds a sense of liability. So they're nervous and they're not able to do what their intuition says.
Yeah.
So automatically something goes wrong. They have to rush you to the hospital, even though it's not.
Like there's so many medical like emergencies that they say are emergencies that really are just normal, that, you know, they'll send you to the hospital for, and then you have this like invasive birth, or they're like, oh, you need a C-section, but you didn't really need it. And, you know, it's just so much more damaging to the body. And I mean, I'm really happy that we question those things too, because it's really insane when you just step back and see the full picture and you're like, this is what women were designed to do.
Yeah. And that birth and that style of giving birth and pregnancy, it, like Nadja said, is not for everyone, because if you're not, like Nadja's been researching this for years, and if you're not researching this and comfortable with it, doing things without a doctor may give you a sort of stress and could spike your cortisol and things like that. And maybe that's not for you, but like going to the doctor has always given Nadja stress and anxiety. Yeah. So like we know whenever we're ready that going to the doctor is like not an option for us, because it's not best for her. And what's best for Nadja does not necessarily mean that that's best for everybody else. So I don't want people thinking like, oh, you know, everybody has to do a free birth and things like that. It may not be the answer for you, but like for her, that's going to be the answer.
Yeah, it's really a lot about trusting yourself. And it is tough when you are so tied to a system that you've been tied to your whole life. Like, I mean, I was always very reliant on the system and, you know, very caught up. I've taken so many pharmaceuticals over the years when I was sick, and I'm like, I could just use herbs now. Like you really have to, it's a lot of unlearning and it can be overwhelming. But I know you said like me doing all my research and stuff was great. And yes, it was good for me because I question everything. I need to know everything. But really, like, I mean, a woman could just, we birth like animals. Like the baby's going to come out.
Baby's going to come out.
I heard on a podcast once that women could birth when they're unconscious. So like your body just knows what to do. Yeah. And I'm like, if a woman could do that when they're unconscious, like I could do that. Like anybody could do it. So it's, you know, it really is such a simple thing. It sounds so complicated and scary, but it's so much more simple than that. It's kind of, everybody's got to do what feels right for them.
Yeah. I mean, exactly that. Back to your point there. It sounds a lot like self-custody, like Bitcoin self-custody. Mm-hmm. It's like, you know, it's a certain level of personal agency that whether you like it or not, you're exposed to. And you kind of need to figure out where on the spectrum, you know, you're going to be. Like, so for this last one, I actually got to deliver the baby,
which
was
like, that's special.
So sick. Like just
so special.
I still look at my hands and I'm just like, whoa, like
you're here.
You know, like you women are so amazing because you know, you get to grow and everything. And even just like the, you know, the couple seconds of interaction that I had during that process, I was like, well, look at my hands. Like I'm, this is so crazy.
Can't even imagine.
But even that was different than how it's been in the past for us as Christina and I continue to, you know, go down this rabbit hole. And even for this one, like this, so this birth was Christina, I wish I wasn't mind me saying this, like her first unmedicated birth, as we've been, you know, COVID for us too was like just eye-opening in what all that stuff does. And we actually, like, you know, on the vaccine train, like one of our daughters is actually vaccine injured. She had like a colon problem and she had to get rushed for surgery and like all this craziness. So we've been going down this, you know, medicine investigation journey as well. And even for her, talking about mindset and cortisol and all this stuff, as she changed, like as her and I were, you know, praying certain things, or as she was focusing on certain breathing techniques throughout the birth, like her experience was changing in real time. Like we discount listening to our body so much, even like from me, experience wise, when I broke my femur a few years ago, they gave me a truckload of Oxycontin, and I've got like some substance stuff. So I was like, I'm not going to touch that stuff. And so I rehabbed my broken femur completely sober, like absolutely sober. And the physio, I'm like doing my exercises and stuff. And he's like, you're healing amazing. Like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm just going till it hurts. Like, I'm just listening to my body. It's like, I'm doing the exercise you tell me, but I'm not stopping at 10 because I feel great at 10. I'm going to do 20. I'm going to do 25 of these like leg raises or whatever. And because I'm not all drugged up and I can feel every little thing in my body, I was able to, you know, determine, can I keep pushing? Can I give it that extra mile today? Or like, hey, 7 hurts, so I'm going to cool it. And I wasn't re-injuring the muscle or like whatever. And I just feel like, to your point, we've latched onto this convenience, you know, oh, I want it to be comfortable. I want it to be like whatever. And we're ignoring the signs that are intuitively installed into us to protect us. It's it's just, it's Bitcoin, it's health, it's skincare, it's birth. Like it's this whole thing that you start just kind of unraveling.
It's all related. And again, like we kind of started the conversation with this, but like faith too. And, you know, we're, you know, since October, we've really been going down this faith rabbit hole. I was raised as a Catholic. I went to Catholic school, but never really, even now, I just have, you know, I have bad like vibes from the Catholic Church because of how corrupt it was, from, you know, just centralizing knowledge and all the molestation and things like that. So I just can't get with a Catholic Church, which is just my personal opinion. But Christianity as a whole, like we're reading the Bible and stuff like that, and we're just
pray with at every meal.
We're praying like multiple times a day, before every meal, throughout the day. And it's just like, it really, having faith it benefits you, like, you know, the person who has faith, because it kind of, like we said before with the cold card thing, some things are at your hands. And even like relating it to birth, and without having a medicated birth and things like that. And like you and Christina are such, you know, great Christians and people of faith. So I could just imagine like at a time, like she's finding comfort in saying like, God has me, you know, he's got me, like things are going to be okay. I don't need the Pitocin and the epidural and things like that, because God has me. What's meant to happen is going to happen. And it's in his hands, because everything is in his hands. And, you know,
can't play God.
You can't play God. And that's a lot of the times the doctors want to play God, even like with your femur and things like that, with the oxy. Like people get in trouble by trying to play God. And I think I heard it on your podcast, like the fiat thing, how even with the money printing, like these people try and play God.
To decree. That's literally what fiat means, is to decree. And the only person or the only being that has ever truly created is God. God is the only one that gets to fiat life and fiat, you know, the sun and fiat oxygen and fiat man. And now governments literally fiat. That's like part of this deeper demonic conspiracy that I'm kind of on.
And the healthcare, the medical institution. So I think a good filter is if somebody tries to fiat you, stay away. Like it's wrong right off the bat.
Separate
like these
yourself
are just
from that system.
Yeah, exactly. And it comes back to sovereignty and things like that. So they really are all intertwined. It's wild. And that's why I think Bitcoiners are so open-minded, and, you know, like Camp Nakamoto and all the Bitcoin meetups and things like that. Like you just really get to discuss and conversate and really connect with these people on a deeper level, because they're so open-minded and you're already on the same page.
Yeah, that's one thing I've noticed, and that's part of what this podcast is designed. It's like, you know, we all have this same root understanding that at least the money is corrupt. And once you understand that one of the things that we used to hold as truth, or as like, you know, the government is good and wants you to do well, like, because that's kind of a lie that we're told, is like the government loves you and wants you to prosper, right? That's like that's a lie that we're told. And then once you realize that's not necessarily true, you start to wonder, well, what else does the government have their hands in? And then when you realize all the other things that are kind of wrong in the world, like the government kind of has their hands in, and then you put all those same people together, you start to question things. Like I am now on a track today that I used to laugh at 5 years ago. And I'm sure in 5 years, I'll feel the exact same way. And I just feel so lucky that I've got this community of people like, you know, you guys, like, having gone down this, you know, I basically use like this salt stick deodorant thing. Like it's just salt and water basically. And then like your soap, you know, that's kind of that's what I have. Like, you know, even John, when you and I chatted in October, I was like, what do you use for shampoo? You're like, I just use the soap. Like, what do you mean? It's like, why do you need a shampoo?
Wash clothes with the soap too, right?
Yeah.
Didn't you wash clothes with the soap when you were away?
Yeah, I did. 100%. I think we've got. What's your guys' opinion on Nellie's? I think we're using Nellie's laundry detergent. Have you guys heard of that?
I don't think I know Nellie's.
I haven't.
Okay.
We use what? Attitude? No, not Attitude.
No, we use Molly Suds.
Okay, I think Nellie's and Molly's are. I think Nellie's is a Canadian. Like it must be a Canadian brand. But yeah, it's so funny how like. But again, because you guys are Bitcoiners, and you guys were like enlightening me on all this stuff, I was like, oh yeah, like this is obviously the way. And then I do a little bit of research, and I'm like, oh yeah, like it just all clicks so naturally. The one thing. And I want to dive into you guys' faith journey too, because I'm deeply interested in people that you know revigorate or refine their faith, like in their late 20s, 30s. But before that, like what I'm seeing all this stuff about peptides, it gives me the ick, and I can't figure out if that's legit or not.
Okay, so I literally just took a peptide today. It was my last day. But the only peptide I've ever taken is BPC 157. And like, for those of you that don't know, I train jujitsu. I've been training for like over 4 years. So unfortunately, I get injured sometimes. And about 5 weeks ago,
Wolverine.
I got caught.
157 is that called Wolverine? Is that the Wolverine peptide?
No, I've only ever heard it called BPC 157. A lot of people like to combine it with TB 500. I think it's called. It's to heal injuries, and even this was my third time taking it, because last year I got knee surgery, and like 5 weeks ago I got caught in a move, and my knee popped, and I was not doing surgery again, so I did rehab on my own. And I was like, let me just, because I had felt positive results from the BPC 157, but I get it from a doctor for what it's worth. As we're just crapping on the medical industry, like, I would not get it like on the black web or anything like that. I got it from a legit pharmacy, so at least I know there's some type of credibility. But there's not enough studies right now for it, where unless it's absolutely necessary, like this is a trade-off, right? Like I was saying, we have non-negotiables. A peptide is not one of my non-negotiables. I can't be at a jiu-jitsu for 3 months. It's not good for my mental health. So,
and it's better than surgery. Like, surgery would be the last resort.
And surgery is not good at all. So that would be the absolute last resort. Like last year, I had what's called a bucket handle tear in my meniscus. So I could not lock out my knee because the cartilage kept getting caught. I had to get surgery. This time I had another meniscus tear and an MCL sprain, but it didn't require surgery. So I was rehabbing it on my own. And to speed up the process a little bit, I took the peptide, which definitely does help. But man, what I would say about this was, and I'm not that knowledgeable on it because I just haven't done my research, but I just truly believe that nutrition and lifestyle, like nature, getting grounded, which is great for inflammation, early morning sun, which is great for your cells, it's nature's red light therapy. These are the things that we need to be doing.
And strengthening muscles that we don't usually do. Like your knee is an issue, so you would like knees over toes guy. The knees over toes guy is
that guy.
Yeah, he's actually ordered from us. He's a Bitcoiner, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, sick! I didn't know that.
Right?
Yeah, he is a Bitcoiner, not like a but he's definitely a Bitcoiner. That's how we found each other on Twitter. So shout out to knees over toes guy. I love his stuff because his stuff strengthens, like for me in particular, everything around the meniscus. The meniscus is the cartilage in between your knee, so it acts as like a shock absorber. Mm-hmm. So I've had multiple knee surgeries to get it removed, so I need strength around it so I don't have pain as I age and as I continue to do these like combat training and stuff like that. So all that to say, at the end of the day, peptides are still an outside substance that you're putting in your body. Right. So I would just err on the side of caution. Like, what are you taking it for? Are you doing and not you, I just mean like the overall you.
The sourcing,
like,
where is it coming from?
Yeah, where is it coming from? But like, are you going to do the GLP-1 peptide to lose fat? Like, you could do that with diet and exercise. Like, don't do that. Yeah. Are you using it to build muscle? Like, you could do that with resistance training. Don't do that. Do you want to avoid surgery and like this is your best way to heal yourself? Like the BPC 157, obviously I'm biased because I've done it. That's the only one that I'm willing to try. So to answer your question, the only one I'm willing to try is BPC 157 until there's more that comes out about it. But
what's the other thing you were looking at? Stem cells? Is that
stem cell therapy?
That's another thing. Like, you want to make sure you're getting a good source for that too. That could be, quite expensive.
Yeah, like you could harvest the stem cells from the umbilical cords, but you don't know whose umbilical cord you're using. So
save your umbilical
It's
cord.
like some like fetal alcohol syndrome umbilical cord. It's like, well, that's not going to be very good, probably.
Yeah. So like, you know, I do plan on getting stem cells. Like I've heard tremendous things down the line, but I'll wait until we have a baby and like I know what Nadja's eating and things like that. So like I'll save her umbilical cord and see if I could store it somehow and get the stem cells from that. But like that's another thing. I'm all for longevity and living your best life, but I think you just need to be careful when you're talking about like taking outside substances when
putting them into your
when
body
nature's giving you everything you need to heal yourself and really, you know, be optimal.
Yeah, that's kind of where I've landed. Like I have not taken a peptide ever, but I'm seeing all these people like, you know, Sessions is a great example of like, and
he looks great. I love Ben.
He looks insane, man.
He looks like phenomenal. Breed Love too.
They look unit.
They look unbelievable. God bless them.
100%. And I'm just like, you know, people are telling me it's like, oh, it's like a key unlocking certain pathways in your brain, blah blah blah, to release the natural hormone. And it just, I don't know. To your point, it's like if I have to get it from a needle, it doesn't feel very natural. Like it just, it just feels,
It sends the signals to tell your body. So like with the injury, like I injected to my knee, it's telling my body like there's an injury here. You need to send everything here to heal this, right? But then, you know, there's parts of me where it's like, okay, like testosterone. If you're going to take testosterone and you're injecting that, your body stops producing it on its own. Then you have to cycle on, cycle off, and it's a whole nother like.
Then if your body's not producing it and you like need it,
So
like I don't know, I have mixed feelings on it because then I feel like you kind of need the testosterone, like for men, you know, when you get to a certain age and you're not producing as much testosterone, and even for women when they go through menopause and they stop producing, is it progesterone? You know, it's like you want to feel good and you need these hormones to help you like produce, you know, like, what is it, like muscle mass and to not get like osteoporosis and like all these other issues that could happen in the long run that you're kind of like mitigating them. So I don't know. I do have mixed feelings on it. I don't think it's like necessary for everybody, but I do think that some people can use it.
And when it's related to your health, like, you know, you don't trust, verify. No, you know, I still live by that, by the way, regardless of the cold card thing. But, you know, you need to do your due diligence. Who has time for that, man? We're running a business. I'm like following all the Bitcoin stuff. I'm looking into gray aliens and stuff like that, the Nephilim. Like, you know, I'm worried about big problems over here. I can't be worried about these peptide nonsense. Like, none of this matters if aliens come and abduct you. So it's like
the gray alien Nephilim will get you, man. Okay, well that's
keep my eye on the ball,
I'm scared of the Giants.
100%. It's like you gotta stay locked in on what matters. You know, maybe that's all here to distract us. Okay, well let's chat about that because and I want to understand too because for some context, like we you know, kind of for the first time got to connect at camp. What was it? Was it October? Is that when? Like almost a year ago? Was that
October? Yeah.
Yep, the top of the Bitcoin cycle this year.
Top of the
we were drinking Piani Lane and eating, you know, beef from the Beef Initiative, just partying at Camp Nakamoto. That's a top.
What could go wrong?
We should have known.
Boom, red candles. Boom, you know, self-custody attack. Boom, AI is gonna nuke, you know, Bitcoin protocol. Boom, BIP 110. Like, oh, we got some things to worry about.
Exactly.
So we're there, and I'm just like spitting all this Bible, you know, craziness out. And at that, are you guys like, what are you guys thinking at that point? Are you guys like, oh, this guy has absolutely lost his mind? Or are you guys like, it's making some sense? Like, because John, you grew up Catholic, you said. Naj, I don't remember, did you have like a faith background in any way or?
Me too. Catholic as well. Yes.
Okay. But you weren't really like, you wouldn't say you were like walking with the Lord religious? At that point? Yeah.
Correct.
No, I mean, definitely disconnected from the church, but like I prayed. Like I believed in God. I believed in something more. I just couldn't figure out. I knew there was something more. I always felt there was something more, but just not like a specific thing.
More like even seeing the birth is a reminder, like, you know, and even in my like spiritual, I've been a Christian for 20 years more. And it's like, even though I'm still like, I got doubts and I got these weird thoughts that, you know, are intrusive and come in, but just like seeing the birth is just like, this is obviously designed. Like, this is so amazing. It's just so beautiful and clearly, so very clearly designed by God. So what, and then now you say you're like reading the Bible, you're kind of diving in a little bit more. How would you, like, what are you doing? Why is this important? Like, what, talk me through this kind of change of mindset.
Yeah. Well, so to answer your question, like, we did not think you were crazy or anything like that. Like, listening to you say these Bible verses, but then explain it was really important for us. Like, even now reading the Bible, we alternate. We'll do a chapter in the Old Testament, a chapter in the New Testament. The Old Testament's very difficult for us. Like, we're on Numbers right now, and it's so, like, from, Genesis was pretty good, but then Exodus and Numbers, and like, it's just like very, you don't know, are you taking it literal, which people say not to, like, what does it mean? We're kind of trying to just get through it. Like, we're not going to read it once and that's it. Like, this is going to be something, it's a habit now. Reading, we're always going to just go back and read it and try to pick up different things. So it's just like, you were making it very relatable and making it make sense. So it encouraged us and like brought out a curiosity, like, and I think you said something about the Bible just being like a great, like, take religion out of it. It's just a great book as a life. Teacher, and for life and all that stuff. So
yeah, if everyone in the world lived according to the Bible, like, we wouldn't have much conflict.
No, 100%. We'd all be healthy. They tell you how to eat in the Bible. Yeah. We'd be healthy. We'd be great.
Yeah, for sure.
So everybody.
Yeah, it's a great guide, if you will. So we've, we've gotten some benefit from reading the Bible, and you were a huge catalyst for that.
We've had interest though. Like, we've gone back and forth with, like, what do we believe? And I knew I wanted to grow stronger in my faith. Like, what is it that I believe in? I've always questioned life. Like, what are we doing here? Like, we can't be the only ones. I was always interested in outer space and just like, what else is there out there? Like, we're not the most important things in this entire universe. There's got to be life somewhere else. Like, what are we doing here? What is our purpose? And where do we go when we die? Like, that was like I've always struggled with death. Not to be morbid, but like, it was always something, I'm just like, what happened? So I think I just wanted to feel more comfortable in that aspect, and like knowing, like, okay, when you lose somebody, this is where they're going. And, just really kind of digging into that. And that's always been something on my mind.
Yeah.
And yeah,
just having faith is important. It helps you live a better life. Like we said earlier, some things are out of your control. So if you just surrender to God, and say, and have strong faith, it will help you with your life on this earth. So I do think that it benefits people as a whole. Like you said, if you live your life by the Bible, the world would be a much better place. So it's not a bad way to live, and a bad like way to live your life and practice and things like that. But also, shortly after we started listening. We've always been super interested in aliens and stuff like that. So we came across this guy, Tim Alberino, who's also a Christian. I think I sent you a couple podcasts. I don't know if you've listened to it. He was actually on Joe Rogan recently, but I wouldn't listen to that one. It was good, but he had better ones on Jesse Michaels. Yeah. So his father was a pastor, and he's a Christian man of faith. So he connects the Bible to extraterrestrial life and angelic beings and things like that. And that all came around the same time, that right after Camp Nakamoto. So you made it very interesting in just a religious way, and like, the flood and things like that. And then we're listening to him, and like, that made it even more interesting. So now we're just genuinely interested in the text, in the scripture. Like, there's unequivocal evidence of a flood. I did hear somewhere that they think they found like Noah's Ark in Turkey or something like that, right? Like, isn't there, there's evidence of that. There is unequivocal evidence of Jesus. Like, all the other religions say that there is a man, Jesus, and was doing all these miracles and stuff like that. So it's a great history book, and we're just, we know nothing, but we're enjoying this journey, and it's just, it has helped us. It does give you peace of mind for sure.
It does.
Yeah, it's cool. I feel like that's the big differentiator, because I think lots of things can give you peace of mind. Like, lots of Buddhists have peace of mind, but Christianity, Jesus in particular, is this really cool. He approaches with like this relatable, like no other God is relatable in this way, right? Jesus is the only one that came and lived as a man. And then, so you've got this kind of relatable piece, this empathetic kind of look. And then, you keep reading the Bible and it gives you that comfort. And I think that's proof that God is a loving God. If you read the Quran, I don't think you're getting the warm fuzzies out of that, right? You're not feeling super awesome about the way that Allah is go. I'm not gonna go there. It's just there's some things that don't feel really awesome about that. So you've kind of got this empathetic, caring, peace of mind. And then only after you've kind of solidified that, you can get into, how you have to kind of live your life and how your life should differ because of your, newfound relationship. And I feel there's just this aligned incentive model the whole way where God is, I feel like, man, so this last week we're at camp and he said, people have this illusion that we are all kind of crawling towards God. We were deep diving through Revelation, which is the apocalyptic,
book.
We
skipped to that. We had to. So we read Revelation.
Tough one to understand.
We bounce all over the place, but
I don't know how to interpret it.
Yeah.
But wow.
It's crazy. And I could talk about that. Like I said, I'm just coming out of, I got 11 sermons in 5 days about Revelation. It was so
I thought those fires in Canada was like Revelation. Because the first thing was the flood, next is the fires. I'm like, oh boy, what's going on here?
This is it.
It's happening. Yeah. And it's we all think that we're just kind of, we're all going towards the end. But really what I think Revelation shows us is that Jesus has gone to the end and he's actually pulling us towards him. We are not crawling towards Jesus. He's in fact pulling and coming towards us. And I think that's such a cool picture in my head. It's I don't know. It just gives you this certainty that you are wanted and loved and that God has given so much to you. And then we have the opportunity to sacrifice and serve for God. So I think, I commend you guys on that journey. I think it's really cool too. Like I said, I just go around and run my mouth about whatever I'm thinking about. I'm just, I'm so chaotic. And it was so cool to see you guys appreciate that. and then also some of the good conversations that we were kind of able to have. How have you found reading the Bible almost for a year now? Has it changed perspectives? Has you changed it? You guys went down this health rabbit hole, changed your actions, changed your habits, changed your life. How has, reading the Bible or investigating Jesus a bit more kind of done the same?
I think one of the major things, and it may be more of a result of praying every day, multiple times a day. Of course you ask for things, but you kind of feel bad asking for things. So I think we've both just found a lot more gratitude. So if I could say one thing that we've walked away with is a lot more gratitude. Something just as simple as waking up, before breakfast, we'll pray. And the first thing we say, both of us, we take turns praying. It's thank you, God, for waking us up this morning. We do not take that for granted. We don't take it lightly because there's a lot of people that didn't get to wake up. And there's no, we don't know when our time runs up. There's no way to tell. There's no guarantee. So every day is a true gift. So I think in terms of gratitude, that's been the best thing because of course you want more. Everybody wants more. In our case, Bitcoin, more wealth, bigger house, boat, cars, things like that. We're not materialistic, so maybe not the cars. I love boats. I want a boat, bigger house so we can homestead and things like that. But just being grateful for what we have, each other. We spend pretty much all day together. Unless I'm out at jiu-jitsu, we work together. We have every single meal with each other. That is the most incredible amount of wealth that anybody could ask for because a lot of couples, they don't get to share every meal with their partner and spend as much time as they do with each other. And yes, we're husband and wife.
We like each other too. A lot of our friends and family would say that they wouldn't like the way that we live.
We're also best friends.
We enjoy being with each other, so that's a good thing for us.
Right, we're definitely best friends and just we make each other better.
Business partners.
We
have a lot of fun.
Right,
a lot of fun together.
So that's the most important wealth in our eyes, and the monetary stuff and things like that comes after. But definitely more gratitude and just being super thankful for just everything that God's given us. And that would be gratitude.
Gratitude has helped too with a lot of other things, like just really being present. I feel like it's helped us to just be present in the moment, like adding on to what you said.
Perspective.
And not like being like all these things that I used to stress out about that just like aren't really important. And now I'm like, all right, well, you know, the most important thing is like we're not starving today. We have a roof over our head. You know, we have each other, we have our health. So it's like it really just helps you to see things from a bigger picture and a better perspective and what's actually really important in life.
Like even the other day, we were talking about how life is basically a collection of moments, right? And you don't know when your last moment has occurred. So, I mean, for us, like we're not crazy partying and things like that, and we don't have any savings, like living all for today, like that YOLO, form of living. Like we do have a future planned, but for the most part, you do need to be present and enjoy every single moment, because at the end of the day, life is just a collection of moments and or memories with loved ones and things like that. So what are we saying? We're moment maxing, right? Like we just want to maximize every single moment. And I think that helps you stay present, stay where your feet are, and just go a day at a time and just go by the moments. And I think before you know it, it'll help you think clearly and make better decisions. And as you stack those moments, like stacking sats, stacking health blocks, right? Stack good moments, and it's going to just lead to a great life. So like that's
time, what you're doing with your time. I mean, we say Bitcoin is scarce. It's the scarcest asset, but like time is really your scarcest asset. So you really need to make sure that you're spending that time the way that you would like to, with the people you want to, doing the things that you want to do that make you feel good and that are nourishing to your soul, you know?
Yeah, big time. And like you said, time. So the cool thing about Bitcoin is that it's known scarcity. It's the only asset in the world that we know for certain how much will be in existence. We don't know how much gold there is. Diamonds are a great example of like, they have shown us that they can and will pull the rug over our eyes on how much metals or how much physical assets are in the world. But time is an unknown scarcity. Like, for all we know, that 16th story engineer could be, not doing so well, and then boom, tree goes through the window, has a different story. Fire, like you talked about up here in Canada, like we're getting fires all the time. People are evacuating their house. Like, time is so scarce. And I have found, like, for me, going through the Bible, really learning how, and then going through the Bible, reading, learning how to pray, how to hear God, and then trying to understand how to spend my time according to his will, with like a mixture of sacrifice. And that's one thing I struggled with for a long time, is like, that sacrifice for God. But then also understand that God loves me and wants me to be happy, wants me to have joy, wants me to have these positive experiences. And just, it's like a never ending balancing act and cycle of trying to discern and determine how to live obediently while still living in and amongst the world. It's I don't know. It's just such a cool opportunity that we get to have, I feel like, to even explore these ideas and have this opportunity to like, I've got a buddy who I respect so much, and him and I live very different lives. Our lifestyle is super different, but when him and I chat about the Bible, I feel like we're both able to push each other in different ways. And I think we're both better. I know I'm certainly better off because of it. And, I'd like to think that he'd say the same. And I think that's really cool that, it's this idea that we're all in this with one another, but primarily with God. And that's, it just gives you so much purpose. Hey, like I feel so bad for these people that live thinking this is all just an accident. This is all just some kind of like chaotic, some sort of chaotic mistake that we're on. And it's like, that's a terrible way to think and live. Like, what's the point? It's like, I believe that we are going to eternal happiness with our Creator, the one that loved us so much, that literally created a system and then planted us inside that system. We get to live obediently with and according to his will, and then go and spend eternity with him. And it's like, or you can just believe that you're a floating mistake, a random arrangement of cells that actually has no moral reasoning whatsoever. It's like, which one gives you more good vibes?
That's why you got to keep the faith. You have to have faith, because that's just, that's a poor way. Not poor. I mean, in my opinion, it's a very doomsday way to view the world, and perspective is everything. I mean, God gave us dominion on Earth. He gave us dominion of planet Earth, which is like an incredible gift, like you said, right? So Tim Alberino, someone we listen to, and you're familiar with the Watchers, right? Like the sons of God. I mean, I'm going on a tangent here, but I think just something interesting. Like, what are your thoughts on the Nephilim? Like how they?
For sure, real. Like it's pretty obvious. Like I could probably talk about this for a long time also, but like I believe the Nephilim are actual beings that roamed and roam the earth, and are a large part of why we have so much evil in the earth.
Right. So do you believe that the Watchers, the sons of God, they lusted with the sons of man's daughters, and essentially the Nephilim, they're hybrid beings, right?
Yeah.
So that's when you think about that these angelic beings, if you want to call them, or the Watchers, like they lusted for like female humans, and they wanted dominion on earth, and that's why the Nephilim's here. And then God created the flood to try and wipe them out, and then still gave us another chance. Noah's Ark, one of everyone. So it's like God has given us so many chances, sent Jesus to repent for our sins, right? Like we've gotten so many chances, and he still continues to give us chances, and we're in arguably the best position here on planet Earth, at least for now, until we're living with eternal life. So just thinking of the gift of life and things like that, and to think that it's all a mistake and stuff like that, like I don't know, it's just
like living with like that's just lack.
And I never thought
everything in your life would just be lack.
Yeah,
like you're just not. I don't know, and I'm not talking badly about anybody, but how can you succeed or do anything great or feel anything good when you just feel so negatively about your life and why you're here? And it's just that seems crazy to me. Like I always felt deep down like we have a purpose here. There's a reason why we are the way we are, and why we can think and be creative, and
free will and all that stuff,
and have such like intuitive thought and connection with our God, this higher power, Yeah,
100%. I love that mindset, guys, and I think it's really important. I also think like the fiat world has kind of brought in this apathy, and it's like, nothing I do matters. I'm one out of 8 billion people. It's a random accident. Who cares? And back to what we talked about earlier, like, was this some giant evil plan, or is this just downstream effects of bad decisions? And whatever you believe on that, it's like this evolution theory scam, this atheistic belief is downstream of wanting human beings to feel apathetic and useless. And when you feel apathetic and useless, you are more likely to probably reach out to a government, to submit. Like human beings innately want to submit to something greater. We want to give our lives to beauty and perfection and this higher purpose. And I think the Rothschilds, the Nephilim, whoever it is, this demonic evil force knows that. And they want us to feel bad. They want us to feel apathetic, so that we'll give our purpose to them, to that governing force, to that higher power of the government, or whatever it may be. And I just think it's important that we recognize, kind of like, and again, we'll relate it back to Bitcoin, because everything relates back to Bitcoin.
Totally.
It's like if you own Bitcoin and it's sitting in Coinbase or an ETF, and it's like, you walk around thinking you're a Bitcoiner because you own, Bitcoin and other cryptos sitting in a Coinbase account, and then Coinbase gets rocked. Or let's use FTX. We'll use a real example. You own Bitcoin and a bunch of other coins that don't really matter, and you're like, well, no. I want to be part of the Bitcoin community, because this Bitcoin community, they seem like they know what's going on. They're respectable individuals. I don't think everyone is, but let's just pretend like we all are. And so I want to be part of that. And so you buy Bitcoin, but you leave it in FTX. And I would call you a lukewarm Bitcoiner. And then it's like, boom, FTX gets rugged. And, your whole world turns upside down. You kind of have a decision to make there. It's like, okay, do I just abandon the faith, abandon my thought process that Bitcoin is, a good asset to own? Or do I recognize my mistake and then dive in? And I feel like Christianity is kind of the same way, where we've got all these people that are kind of like, I'm a Christian because I kind of like Jesus, or like, yeah, probably he existed one day, like whatever, but they don't pray, they don't read the Bible, they're not like interested in actually living their lives for him. They're kind of like, they're captured Christians. They're people that would identify as a Christian, but don't actually live their lives in such a way that Jesus has called us to live in the Bible. And you want the scariest part about all that, just like, the captured Bitcoiner got their funds rugged, the Bible's pretty clear that, like, if you're a captured Christian and you're just living like lukewarm whatever, it's like you don't get eternal life. Like it's not like some gotcha. It's like it's out in the open. It's pretty clear that, like, you gotta kind of proof of work. You gotta kind of like, it's and there's lots of nuance there, and faith and not works and all this stuff. Like there's so much nuance in what I'm saying, but the categorization as a whole is like, I commend you guys for not just hearing something and being like, yep, Jesus, got it, and then just going on your life. It's like, no. We're going to dive in, and we're going to actually investigate what this means. And I think that's really cool. So good on you guys for doing that. And I pray that continues, and I think that's going to lead to blessings for your generation. I mean, I love, like in the Proverbs, King Solomon, I have this in my Jesus talk, like King Solomon is literally described by God as the wisest man. That's like how God calls him. And he says, the wisest man, Solomon, is saying, a wise man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. Just like generational kind of mindset. And I think that's one thing that Bitcoiners have bang on, is like thinking about the next generation. It's so good. So good on you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Adam.
That's great. And like you said, that's what you were describing with the lukewarm Bitcoiners. Mm-hmm. That's like somebody who goes to church every Sunday but does not live like the Christian lifestyle, and is not a man of Jesus. But I think fiat life has just promoted people or incentivized people to just kind of go through the motions. You're just doing things with no purpose
and be yes men.
Go with
the flow, go with the crowd.
So just we don't like to go through the motions as individuals. At least, like when we're going to do something, we like to really peel back the layers,
really
dig deep
into everything we do.
Yeah, and do it with purpose.
I mean, talking about going from pre-COVID, whatever, healthy but not like healthy, to now like investigating, what do you call it, a wild pregnancy? Like that's so good. Yeah. I love that.
Great.
Thank you.
In like wrapping up, closing, I'd love like 3 pieces of advice that even just for me, my family, anyone listening, anyone watching, like, you guys, like I said, you've done the research. I trust you guys as Bitcoiners. Like, where are the blind spots that most people have in their life that we can, change immediately to kind of continue pursuing this life of like sovereign health?
One big thing, just because we're into we're in the skincare industry, is I would say read everything. Like, read your labels. Make sure you know what's on the back of there. If you can't pronounce a word, it's probably a chemical. Like, it's probably not good for you. And if there's a lot of ingredients, what was that?
Are you using an app, or are you using like, because I try with my AI agent, but sometimes I used Yucca one time, and I scanned this thing and it said canola oil was no problem. And I was like, oh, I don't trust anything you say now.
Yucca could be weird. The EWG is pretty good, the Environmental Working Group. But yeah, I'll put things into AI sometimes. I'll put things in a chat, and my chat kind of like knows me. It's probably a little scary how much they know me, but I'm like, yeah, make sure this is clean to my standards. And they like get it. Like, yeah, you probably won't like this because it's like, I was looking up your detergent before.
Oh yeah.
And you have one harsh ingredient in there, a surfactant, a synthetic surfactant. So they're like, not quite to your strict standards, they said to me, but
come on.
I'll send you guys some stuff. But besides that, it's pretty good.
You should get an executive summary of what your strict standards are, so I can put that into my AI, so that I can be like, think like Nadja.
I'm gonna do that for you. Yeah, I'll definitely do that. Yeah, definitely read the labels.
But even more so than reading the labels, because even I saw some things like Burt's Bees was being sued because there were things that weren't on the ingredient list. So if you can, know who makes, know the source for all your food. We like to say, know your skincare dealer if you can. Just know, like even cotton clothing is very important. So if you know somebody who's getting the right cotton and it's not polyester, because you could put things on an ingredient list, but
take the time to ask questions too. I email people all the time before I buy stuff. I'm like, yeah, does it have this, or what's really in this? Like, it's okay to ask questions, and if they can't be transparent with you, then it's probably not a company you should trust. So definitely.
So funny you say that. I did that the other day. I was like looking to buy this. I think it was a pair of shorts, and I had to ask them 3 times what was in, because they called it a blend of some kind. It was like an alpaca. It was marketed as like a healthy thing, but I was like, well, what's it blended with? And I had to ask them 3 times. They couldn't give me an answer. So I was like, yeah, I'm not into that.
Good on you, because that's important. And like, we live in clothes. We're in clothes most of our life. So it's like, that's constantly getting absorbed into your skin. It's really important.
So one advice would be verify your source. Let's just summarize that.
Verify your source.
2, what I would like to say 2 would be, do your best to reconnect with nature, because nature has everything that you need to heal and live a great life. Like, just getting grounded, just standing barefoot outside in the sand or on the grass.
Go for a walk, go on a hike, just like appreciate the beauty and like the little things in life. Like,
without your phone. Go on a walk without your phone, because you need to be present and really take it all in. It's good for your mental health, for sure.
I want to say more gratitude, but I feel like we're all kind of on the same page with that. So I think I'm going to say limit the blue light, because blue light is like detrimental
you got
to your
the
health.
blue light blockers on.
Yes.
Sure.
I'll show you guys. These are a Freedom Maxi collab with Chroma. I'm not sure if you can. We got a little Freedom Maxi.
Oh yeah,
that is so cool.
Can I order those?
These are going to be going on the Bitcoin Well Point store in a bit. So there's a shameless plug for y'all. But
nice.
Wow.
Yeah, I want to order that. We can't order that.
Shirt on. Yeah, so I'm pumped on these. I wear these. I love these. They're so good. And
I like the orange lens, because ours have a red lens, which is a little difficult to see. It's great for at nighttime, but I would wear the orange ones more, because you could see more clearly.
I'd rather the daytime on the computer, because we do a lot of computer work too. So like, that is perfect for the daytime. And I hate looking at the screen, honestly. But we try to limit the blue light. We have red lights everywhere in this house. Our refrigerator has the red, what is it? The lens, the
film. I put films on everywhere.
We have it on our microwave light. It's everywhere.
Are you guys LED lights still, or have you traded bulbs yet?
No, so I have like traditional hi-hats, so you can't just take out the bulb, but we never use them. I never use the lights. Like, anytime people around us now, they'll know, like, hey, I'm turning the lights on, because when people just flick the lights on, we're like, oh, what are you doing? We freak out. It's like, no, please don't do that. So people give us warnings now. We never have the lights on.
No.
We have a red light mat, and I have a red light in our bathroom, and like red light under the microwave.
There's red lights in here.
So we just have like little red light lamps all over the place.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah, I think those are done.
That's it.
And with nature, just also with nature, like, I like that on a bigger scale too. Like, if you can resort to herbs and really like do research and go that route instead of pharmaceuticals, like, there's just so many. God gave us all the things that we need here.
Let's go.
Everything we need to nourish ourselves and heal ourselves. So there's an answer. And yes, it does take time, and you have to do your due diligence, but I mean, we try to put out blogs as much as we can with like all the stuff that we learn, because we know it's hard to do the due diligence and take the time, especially when you got like 5 kids, you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. So we try and give like a quick little cheat guide and
and
to help people out.
It's important. I think reconnecting with nature is huge.
And a bonus one for the men, something I tell myself every day when I don't feel like training: be hard to kill. So whether that's combat training or training, firearm training, or just lifting weights or whatever, just be hard to kill.
I like that a lot. That's one thing. In that same vein, one thing I tell my daughters all the time, I think very deeply. One of the hardest things I think I'm going to have to do is give my daughters away. And I know that day is coming, and I'll praise God when it comes. But, you know, it's like, it's a big thing. And I'm petrified that they're going to find some deadbeat that's like, you know, just useless. And one thing I tell my daughters all the time is like, you got to find someone who's better than dad. That's the only criteria that I've given them, which means that puts an incredible amount of like onus on me. I got to be someone who's like modeling, you know, Christian behavior, like patience and humbleness. And then also like that physical thing. I got to be hard to kill because I don't want my daughters to be widows when, you know, if they're shacked up with some useless, you know, easy to kill man, like that's not gonna fly. So I gotta get on that. I was actually just on the scale this morning, and I'm feeling lean, but I gotta get in the gym and get a little thicker. Maybe I gotta look at John there. I would never wear a muscle shirt on a podcast. I gotta hit the gym a little bit.
I'm surprised I have a shirt on. I never wear a shirt, but I just like being comfortable.
I'm like, babe, you gotta put something on.
I know I said in closing last time, but like, what are you guys doing in you guys are nearby Jersey, right? I think you said like you're in New York State. Is that a family thing? Like you guys belong in the jungle, I feel like.
What?
Yeah.
We do. It's been a battle, especially lately, because we're like, where are we gonna go? We've been battling this for years.
It's even like growing the business and like running out of space. We're in a condo here in Westchester, New York, and it's just like, you know, you think of a few spots down south where it's warmer and things like that. But I really think, and I think it was yesterday that we just came to the realization as we were talking about moment maxing and memories. It's like, we love our family and our friends. And even though it might be better for us to go somewhere else, I just don't know. For now, at least, like we just, you know, you don't know how long your parents are going to be there. Like, you know, I'm 33. My parents are getting up there. So it's like,
grandparents are still around.
So it's very difficult. Tough. I think family is going to keep us somewhat around here. But I would love to be in the jungle, Costa Rica, El Salvador.
Somewhere by the coast and just better quality air and food. And yeah, we don't belong here. But
one day at a time, though. We got to be where our feet are, I like to say.
It's a spectrum, right? It's like, yeah, you have to unlearn so much. But yo, guys, listen, I really appreciate this. I feel like I could chat with you guys forever. I can't wait to see you guys again. Yes. And yeah, I really appreciate your time today. And I'm going to dump like all the resources, your blog and your store and like your social medias. It'll all be in the show notes. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys, and have a blessed day and just continue on this journey. I'm so pumped to see you know, the next version of John and Nadja over the next few years. It's going to be awesome.
Thank you, brother. We appreciate it. Thanks for having us on. This was great. We love the show. Keep crushing it.
Yeah. Yep. You're killing it.
Okay. Thanks so much, guys. See you later.
Of course.
Awesome.
Thank you.